We have already seen the background color property in many exercise, but still I want to emphasize here for better clarity on what background color does. Also, there is one more property we can see with background color. Now, background color, as we saw in other examples, could be applied in a way like, say, green, which is pure English. This is one way we could do. Yellow, all that is pure English. RGB is one way of doing it, where we mention the values of red, green, and blue. So that's what happens. And then you have the hex, which is basically values of red, green, and blue. The mix of it is what you see here. And then finally we have the HSL values, which is pretty much 0 is red, 120 is green, and 240 is blue. And then the saturation, hue, saturation, and lightness. We'll just stick to HSL now, not the alpha. We saw it in the earlier example. Now, if you look at it, blue is what you get with this effect. Now that's the background color. Now we'll try to apply something called opacity, which ranges from 0 to 1. I'm gonna give a opacity as 1. You don't find any difference in the parent div, but I'm gonna make it 0.5. Now that transparency or opacity is what you see, so it gets lighter. Now you could understand it better if I have it in the child div. Now there's a parent div, there's a child div inside that, parent div, and the child div inside that. Now in the child div, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it 1 initially. Just look at this color. Now I'll make it 0.5. So that gets dull, but it turns into a little blue. And if I do it 0.1, it again turn into a little blue. Now it turns into a little blue is because it actually doesn't turns into blue. What happens is its transparency becomes, it becomes more transparent is what's happening. So when it becomes more transparent, the back container, the parent container, which has a background of blue, that blue is what you see here. Now, I could also change this to red. The background is red. So the more transparent we try to see, the background is what we see, the background of the parent div. So the child div is there. Behind that, the parent div has a background color of red. Now, when you make this transparent, the parent div's red is what you see here. Now, just keep this in mind when you do an opacity of 0.1. Not just the background color. It is not the transparency of background color. It is also a transparency of the whole element. So that is why these text gets diminished. You see, the text gets diminished. Now you need to understand the difference. So when I do the opacity, the transparency is applied not just on the color, but also on the element itself. So that is why you don't see the text.